to 2013. I hope the year is a prosperous one for you, and it brings joy and good things to you and your family. We are starting on a new project which I mentioned in our last video, and it's a model. It's quite large. It's 48 inches long, and it is a train called the Iron Horse. Now, I got the plans from Forest Street Designs in Utah, and I'll just put their web address there for you. So they've got some fantastic designs, and I fully recommend them. The plans have come and they're very clear, and so we're going to attempt to do that. Now, it consists of the old 1870s train with a fuel car and a passenger car, and they're all mounted on a bridge with rails, all made out of timber, of course, and we're going to not add anything other than the natural timber, and with a gloss finish or something like that. We'll decide what that's going to be. It's not completely turning, it's not complete woodwork, it's a mixture of both, and so I hope to be able to show you all facets of the woodworking that I'm interested in, and certainly that we're interested here in as far part as model making. We certainly got into it with Matt's truck, and this is the next progression for me, is to make this model. One of the things I decided to do, though, was to start at the bottom and build up, and the reason that is so you know yourself, if you're building a number of little parts, they tend to get lost. But we're going to build the bridge first for the model to sit on. That enables things like wheel spacing and height, and a lot of different measurements can be taken off the rails as we build it, and of course it's somewhere for the model to sit on while we're building it, and so we'll see that progression as we go along. So I thank you guys again for all the support that you've given us so far, and I hope that this is a series which should do over quite a few weeks, maybe even months, who knows, but it's a series I hope you enjoy. I'm not going to concentrate on this solely. I will be back with smaller videos, just with small items or items that are not connected with the model itself, just everyday things that we need to do as we come along. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry this is so long-winded, but now on to the model making.
Well, as we said, the plans supplied by Forest Street Designs are very detailed, and on the last 2 pages we'll find the bridge, which supports the locomotive and the carriage and the fuel car. The bridge has some details on it, including lamps and a bridge and a signal box. I'm going to leave those till the very last, of course, so we just want the main structure and rails. So firstly, the plan calls for obviously a top and a couple of sides which form the main construction, and a couple of ribs to support in between. These are made out of MDF, and which forms a pretty stable base. Now the plans obviously call for curved or arches in the bridges, which is on front and back. So the easiest way, rather than photocopying the template and sticking it on, the easiest way was to cut a piece of ply for a template, 3mm ply, and using my curve maker here, which you can pick up from any office supplies, drawing instrument house, whatever, helps you form curves, and that's a lot easier than mucking around just photocopying and spraying onto the template. So just because we've got 6 arches, 3 at the front, 3 at the back, it was easier to form a template like that, and as you can see, that in the proper measurements just transfers straight onto the MDF for front and back. A bit of playing on the bandsaw, and the arches are quickly removed roughly, and then just on the bobbin and sander, just cleaning them up and getting those nice and smooth. And then transfer one to the other so that I'll have a back which will equal the front. And once they're both cut out, then basically the frame just goes together with those two supports underneath. Now I have the plans called for the piers to be solid and for the arch sections to be cut out and put in between. I thought I'd change that a little bit. I thought I'd give the whole structure a bit more rigidity by matching the back and having that front panel go all the way through, and instead I checked out the pillars around the front there, because it also gave a support ledge to put the capping of the bridge on. Just gluing up the pillars in place, and wherever possible I try not to use fasteners. Just I know you can patch and fill holes, but if you don't have to make the holes in the first place, it's even better. In the capping there are 1/8 holes drilled at proper intervals to receive the fence and fence posts at the end of the day. Now we're ripping down some material for the railway ties, and we just finish those off by sectioning them properly through the thicknesser, and they're approximately 5/8 or 16mm by 9mm or 3/8 inch in height. I'm sorry about the fence there. I'm blessed with a lot of natural light with 3 very big panels in the roof. Unfortunately, that does leave areas where it's hard to view. Anyway, so we're laying out the tracks there, and finally we put them in place. And then the only thing to finish then is the actual track itself. You see it's rounded on the top. We did that by running it through. I've got like a little mini Dremel router table with a 1/8 round over bit, so we round those over. And here what we're doing is creating the track by just ripping on 1/8 or the thickness of the blade by about 2mm or 1/8 deep in each side of the timber, and that's done on 4 edges, obviously, as we'll see in a moment. And there's the section, so it's rounded about. Now all we need to do is split it down the centre, and we have our 2 rails. And there we go. So the final thing we need to do is just to glue it in place, and there is the basis. We'll leave that as it is. That will now form the basis that we can build everything else upon. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you again next time.